Kenny Mukwena.
I am Tepile Mukwena.
This is Young and Called. We are talking all things ministry for the young and called. So in the previous episode, we were talking about the relationship between mothers and sons. And we said that when we talk about sons, we are also including daughters. So we want to continue talking about that because I think this is a very important subject which will position you as you are still in your local church, for those who are still in their local church, to position themselves right with their parents. And also, if you happen to be pastoring a branch of your church, it is important for you to also understand your relationship with both your parents. But I think there are also a responsibility to some extent. In fact, I can even say to a large extent for the parents as well to teach the children insofar as this is concerned.
Teaching is very important because, some kids, they are not coming from a background where they are aware of these issues. So when you now teach them, then you make them aware so that they can align themselves properly and to be able to benefit from both parents.
But sometimes it's not easy. It's not easy for parents for pastors to actually teach the children this, and other pastors to find that they have an expectation on the sons, but they don't take the time to teach. Maybe also because of the sensitivity of the subject. But I believe that as the parents relate with the children, there are always a lot of opportunities that become available for the parents to teach. Let me give you an example. Like in our case, we've had a lot of situations where there are daughters, naturally they are comfortable with me. Not that they are uncomfortable with you, but they somehow, because of their upbringing or their background or their personality, they just feel more comfortable with me. But me and you became very intentional about using those opportunities to teach them. So what would you say to the ladies out there who are more comfortable with their parents, with their father, in fact?
Sure. Yeah. It gets to be so sensitive, especially as a mother. Now I see that the daughter is more comfortable with the father, meaning the pastor. Now I have to rebuke her. When you rebuke her with emotions, then she tends to feel like, we are being threatened by, what she does, towards the husband. It's like as if she's flirting or she's interested in the father.
I think the word you want to use instead of rebuking is correcting.
Yes. It depends. Some because of that sensitivity that I'm saying now, that maybe you find a situation where the lady feels like, you are being threatened, and she doesn't take it as
a correction.
Yes, it's as if you are like, no, but I can see you that you are after my husband. So,
but you can't put it like that as well.
Yeah.
Maybe the way it should be addressed is the fathers need to take that responsibility.
Exactly.
And say, maybe let's say a daughter come and say to me, dad, this and this and that, and then I will listen to that and I say, did you talk to your mother also about this?
Exactly.
Or also talk to your mother. And that's what I do often. Daughters will send me a message and address me or inform me of certain exciting things in their own lives or certain feedback, and I will say to them, I will ask, did you communicate also with Pastor Mom? Or I will say, talk to your mother also, so that she can rejoice also with you. And they do that. And I see that a lot of times when I mention that, it's not like I reject it. No, go to your mother. I will take that, but say, also, did you talk to your mother? Does your mother also know this? So eventually, before they even come to me, you will find that they've come to you. When I said, did you talk to your mother also? They'll say, yes, I spoke to her as well. I think that presents an opportunity for them to learn. But more than that, I think it's important for all pastors who are raising sons, especially those with a calling, to create a platform. It can even be a dialogue where these things are addressed, so that
Yes.
the parents don't have an expectation from the children or the sons and daughters in the house, but the expectation is not communicated. It's the same thing also in marriage,
Yeah.
where you find that the expectations, but the expectations are not communicated. It's important that in my view, and this is what we do, because in our church we've got a blessed school of ministry. In fact, when we started with the blessed school of ministry, when God put in our heart, it was not necessarily to prepare our sons and our daughters for ministry. We were dealing with the dynamics of the local church, but in dealing with the dynamics of the local church, it positions. Yes, it positions them, and we after we did the graduation, after they completed the 10 months training, and we did a graduation, we saw a big change in our church in terms of how the leaders relate with the members, how the leaders relate with us, how the leaders relate with one another, and so on. So I think it's important that, especially when the church starts to grow, if pastors do not invest in teaching and communicating their expectations, you will have these problems. Like the father is better positioned to address these issues, to say, as much as you run with the father, but also do not neglect the position of the mother.
Because me as a mother, if I approach my daughter and now I say these things, then it should be like, why
it's like you're uncomfortable.
So it's uncomfortable. She will not receive it well. It's like I'm rebuking her, or I feel you are interested.
And also, ladies, if you are watching this, whether you are called or you are not called, the way you position yourself to the father, it must not make the mother become uncomfortable and suspicious. Also, the way you dress, dress like someone who's decent, especially if you are in leadership. Sometimes you go into the podium. I mean, you find people that sing in the choir, but the way they dress, it's shocking. How do you go and stand on the pulpit and sing, worshiping? Sometimes you lift holy hands. The skirt is here. When you lift your hands, it goes up. How is the mother feeling when she's sitting there? I think these are very important things to address. So if the mother, if she does not have a relationship with this daughter, then how do we address those things? Because
very
me as a father can't go to a young lady in the church and say, young lady, dress properly. Well, there are fathers who do that, but I think the right order, that is the space of the mother to be able to deal with it. So
I feel in my case, when I see a girl wearing something too short, just to go to her and you don't have a relationship, it's a kind of awkward. So, but with my, especially the team in my church, the blessed worship team, I normally call them in a group to say, guys, let's try to just put it in a proper order, so that that person doesn't feel, offended, and it's like you are singling her out. So just try to talk to them as a group than just going straight to her, especially when there's no relationship.
What about if that lady never changes? Because sometimes when you address things generically, you find that the one who want to address misses the point, and they continue with that. That is why we're talking about this, to say it's important for the daughters to be positioned right with the mothers, but I think also the mothers need to make that effort to reach out to the daughters, not when they say an issue to be corrected. You reach out. If you see that this child is focusing more on the father, the mother must reach out. How are you, my daughter? I don't see you, in a way that will not make anybody awkward, especially when there is nothing to correct, because at the end of the day you've got expectations. So if you act out, because there are daughters who will say, hey, Mom Ruthie does not like me. She likes so and so, but she doesn't like me. So
there and there you cannot come and rebuke, because you don't have that relationship. You don't show the person love. You cannot just come and rebuke, whereas you are not showing that person love. So it will not be received well.
So but how do you deal with a situation where a lady, you hear someone says that there's a lady who says, Mom Ruthie doesn't like me?
I think you have to address that immediately. Call on her, assure her that you love her.
Yeah.
It's just that there's no relationship, but you try to make sure that she comes closer than allowing the situation to be and leave it at it.
Yeah.
So try to reach out, call her. If you hear those things, call her and assure her that no, there's nothing like that.
Yeah.
Show her love and start to pay attention. There's a reason why she's saying that.
Yeah.
Probably she doesn't feel your love. So make sure that
but
you
it
reach
can
out.
also be the other way around, where because a lot of people thrive on perception.
Yes.
The mother said something, not even intending to offend her or anything, and then she picks up things. That's other time, Mom Ruthie came and I was standing with so and so, and she hugged the other one, and then she just pat me on the back or something like that. So there's a lot of those kind of things that at the end of the day, it's just a combination of thoughts that brings a perception. Sometimes it can be wrong. So in a nutshell, I feel that daughters needs to communicate their expectations from the mother and do something. It cannot be that the mother doesn't like me. Well, there are those mothers that really they will not be they will be uncomfortable with you and they will make you feel like that. But there are also situations where the daughter may be wrong. You are jumping into conclusion, yet it's not that the mother has an issue with you. You've jumped into conclusions. So, but I think the responsibility is more on the mother. The mothers needs to communicate because you are in a better position. You are in an authority
You are the matured
position.
one.
You are the matured one. So
you
reach
cannot
out to this daughter.
Stoop down to the level of a girl.
Mm.
You must be the matured one. Fix things.
Yeah.
If you see there's a gap, make sure that you close that gap.
Especially when the heart is right, because others, their heart is not right.
Exactly.
And when the heart is not right, the mothers are uncomfortable. So fix your heart as well and make sure that you are properly aligned to your mother. And as a daughter who's growing, reach out to your mother.
In the presence of the Lord, we are acknowledging His presence. Hallelujah. Sigcwalise ngamandla, moyo ingcwele, yehlela phezu kwethu. Similapha, sifuna ukuzwa izwi. Emmanuel, hlala uhleli. Similapha, sigcwalise ngamandla akho. Moya oyingcwele, yehlela phezu. Similapha, sifuna ukuzwa izwi lakho. Oh, Emmanuel, hlala uhleli nathi, sekubukhona bakho. Ngeke ngisuke kuwe, ngeke ngisuke kuwe, sekubukhona bakho. Yeah. Ngeke ngisuke kuwe, oh, ngeke.
One of the reasons why we are talking about this is because some of these ladies are going to be born Mom Ruthie one day, or serve in a leadership position as well. So it's important to learn these dynamics and position yourself. But I also feel that it's very important to emphasize the importance of teaching by the parents,
true.
creating a platform where sons are taught. Look at our church, for instance. When we host our Easter convention, we always keep it local. We preach with our sons,
Yes.
who are also married. So they carry themselves as well as pastors, because they are pastors. They are functioning in that role. So imagine you've got a pastor's wife, whose husband is preaching, but there is no connection between you and her. you know, because we do a lot of things behind the scenes. It's not just that we said you must preach, and then on the day of the preaching they just rock up there. There's a whole lot of things that we do behind the scenes, you know, before the services, a whole lot of meetings that we have, preparations and so on, you know, we pray together, so many things. So if you find that the son is not aligned to the mother, things don't flow properly, especially some of the ladies who already they are married to young pastors in the church. It's very important to make that effort to connect with the mother, because sometimes you can find that the disconnection between the daughter and the mother now affects the son.
Slowing down the process,
the process of growth. Yes,
because you know we are not in sync. You know, there's some disturbances.
And sometimes it's very important. You know, I always say this, and we learn this from those who raised us, that when you have a son, the son is perfect, he does everything right. But the wife, you know, you can't tell whether she's coming or going. It's very difficult to invest on this son, because women are very, 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 very powerful.
Exactly.
You know, especially when we talk about, you know, because this is for the young and called. We're not just talking about the males that are called, but we're also talking about the ladies that are called as well. So it's important that you play that role well. When we decide to release a son and a daughter, we will also look at the readiness of the daughter.
Both of them.
Yes.
Not only
the male, the husband, yes.
Also the wife.
Up to the wife, yes.
Spiritually, emotionally, and otherwise.
Even as a parent, you must become a very balanced in the individual.
That's
because
true.
you see, the thing is, one of the things we need to understand about ministry is that ministry goes beyond just preaching.
That's true.
You know, so the heart must be right. So when we look at this son and this daughter, we must see as a balance. And remember, the same way that you are treating your mother currently, you are sowing a seed. That's how your sons and daughters are gonna treat you. So don't carry a negative attitude towards your mother, not make any effort, and think, no, it's fine, I'm gonna go one day. When you go, you're gonna attract people exactly of your own kind.
Exactly.
And another thing that is important is that sons and daughters must understand that the local church is your foundation that you must build
Your
on.
training ground.
Your training ground.
That's where you get trained.
Yes.
You know, for ministry.
And the daughters must be trained by the mother.
Exactly.
So if there is no relationship, that synergy, then it becomes a problem. So if you have an issue with your mother, work on your heart, ask God to help you. If possible, reach out to your mother. Actually, in fact, start praying for your mother. If you start praying for your mother, you'll see God beginning to align things, you know, and things to work together for your good. So that
I also did that with my own mother. As much as my apostle loved me so much, but I was intentional in making sure that I get closer to
her,
my mother so that I can learn. Because, you know, I'm doing what I'm doing now because I've seen her doing all those things. I've learned a lot from her. So now I can be able to implement what I've learned from her. And it took me to be close to her so that, you know, she had to teach me all the things that I needed to.
In fact, they trusted me better, especially when we were pastoring a branch, because they could trust you and they knew where you stood. Me, I'm a little bit complicated in many respects, but with you, they knew exactly where they stood with you, and this is so important. If you are going to make a very amazing mom route, make sure that you position yourself right with your mom route, so that even when there are events in the church, you know, where you are preaching with your husband, you know, be seen, carry yourself like mom route. Let everyone see that you are mature.
Behind the scene role.
Yes.
You must always
be in the
where
forefront.
things are happening. They must not guess, is this the wife or
yes,
you know?
it must be clear.
Yes, they must know this is the wife, and the wife is supportive towards the calling of the husband.
And there are some ladies who are nowhere in the picture. You find that their husbands are serving, but the wife is just not there. And the wife knows very well that my husband is as a calling. You will find yourself as a hindrance to actually the call. And in fact, you find that the man is ready, but because of the woman is walking slow, she's nowhere in the picture. She even without realizing influenced the man instead of influence the man not to walk in his calling instead of influencing the man to walk in his calling. So you're gonna account to God one day for not encouraging your husband by the way you carry yourself.
Yes.
Love the things of God the same way as your husband love the things of God, and you will see you growing together. Your parents will have confidence in both of you, and they will be able to invest more in both of you as a couple, as opposed to investing only in the male. Yeah, it's like in our case, it was going to be very difficult